Kyrie Irving and the Dallas Mavericks. They fell once again last night, this time at the hands of the Philadelphia 76ers. But it's what Kyrie Irving had to say afterwards that'll make you get the picture.
Just where we are in the season and where other teams are positioned already, it kind of looks like, a bit of a cluster right now, to be honest with you, because we're, 37-40 and we're trying to fight to get into the play-in game, and it's not the expectations that I think any of us had in that locker room. And me getting traded mid-season, I didn't expect to ask for a trade at that point in the season, so I wanted to finish out with Brooklyn, finish out with the season that we had going, and again, didn't get a chance to do that. So some of the goals I had previously this season had to be shifted. I'm appreciative of them giving me the opportunity. It's been nothing but great here, and I've been at peace, so it's been good. Outside of the losses, of course. We'd like to win every game.
Okay, so there's a whole lot of there. You were his teammate, though, Richard. What did you hear in all of that?
Well, I think for him, he's saying, look, when you get traded midseason and it's very, very difficult, it's like you enter into, and you have to shift your expectations. Yes, they were in a good spot. The West is really tight. They're trying to figure it out. Luka's been injured. He's been injured. They haven't been able to get a rhythm. This is not, I would say, Kyrie's fault. This is a structure of the roster. You look at the Lakers. Lakers had two superstars for the last couple of years, but the roster around them wasn't great, and they struggled. They improved the roster at the deadline. They filled in some of the gaps, and now they're playing much better basketball. I think they gave up so much to get Kyrie because they were kind of just in the middle of the pack, and now they're struggling because of injuries and trying to figure it out in a short amount of time. And it is a cluster. 100% it's a cluster, but I don't think this is Kyrie is to blame. Luka can't play with a superstar. I don't think that's the case.
But when you listen to his full comments, he's saying the cluster is where they are at within the fabric of the Western Conference, not necessarily just the team. That's what I heard it was.
Oh, the team's a cluster, too, and the West is a cluster. Both of them are clusters.
I said yesterday that the Mavs have a funk, and they didn't shake that funk. Got to have that funk.
Well, first of all, listening to Kyrie Irving, I see a brother that's confused, okay? So you want the good or the bad first?
I like my dessert first.
I'll give you the good, okay? The good thing about it is that we applaud Kyrie Irving for what he does in the community, for his donating, for his, whatever he may do in the schools and things to that nature. We applaud him. But when it comes to his basketball knowledge, when it comes to his decision-making, he's horrible. And let's go all the way back to his time in Cleveland. You're in Cleveland with LeBron James. You have went to multiple finals. You won a championship there, and you forced your way out. And then all of a sudden you get to Boston. You promised the Celtic fans that you're going to be there. You had an opportunity to actually grow and play with Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown. You bounced on them. Then you persuade KD to come to Brooklyn, join you, your best friend, and then all of a sudden, you're in a position in Brooklyn. They fired Steve Nash, hired Jacques Vaughn. You have everything in the world with you right now. The team is moving in the right direction. KD's balling, you're balling. You have one of the best records in the league. All of a sudden, you don't even tell your best friend, so-called, in Kevin Durant, that you want out. And you request the trade, get to Dallas, and now you're here. So my thing is to Kyrie, forget where they're at right now. They're not going to make the play-in tournament. What do Kyrie want for his legacy? What is Kyrie's agenda? Those are the questions that I want to know. And the confusion part is that you have been in these situations where you could have capitalized on them. But Kyrie Irving, the smart guy, the guy that's smarter than everybody else in the world when it comes to making decisions, and we don't understand him and things to that nature, he don't understand himself. And he don't understand what positions or how these actions or him requesting trades out of certain organizations, I believe, is going to tarnish his legacy.
Look, I understand it because this is the thing. You're looking at it total career, short sample. So you went on the whole career. I get it. That's a different conversation. The short sample we're talking about is the Dallas Mavericks and him right there. Now, again, you got to have some context to Kyrie as a player, places he's been, context. But this team is not great. They have two great players, and then they're struggling with the pieces around. They're not very good defensively. So you think, hey, maybe we add some offense, it can give us a boost. But you look at these numbers, these numbers just say that they're going to be where they are, either
Right.
out of the play-in or struggling to get in the play-in, and that's what they are. That's what these defenses. But look, field goal percentage, right? Defense, that's not going to help Kyrie. All those things are not Kyrie's thing.
But it's the disparity that he's talking about between the expectations coming in and what is the reality of this team. And part of it being traded midseason, I imagine. I haven't been. It's not easy. I want to bring in someone who has, Vince Carter. Vince, what do you make of all that we heard from Kyrie Irving?
I mean, you guys have said it all. I've been traded midseason. Matter of fact, I was traded from Toronto to the Nets over there with RJ, and it's just an adjustment period. And obviously, it's just depends on what your roster look like. They're great offensively as far as those two are dynamic with those two guys, but they gave up a lot to get him, and now you don't have the defensive presence or enough of the defensive presence and enough rim protection to solidify yourselves as a spot. So right now, for them to win, they're going to need a little luck, take care of business, and outscore people. But as far as the Kyrie situation, one thing I do agree with Perk. What he said is Kyrie has to figure out what he wants and what he wants to accomplish from here on out, because the decision he makes from here on out is going to matter. And it's gonna, because when he leaves there, Dallas is in a huge hole, or when he leaves, or if he leaves, and then wherever he goes now, they're going to expect him to perform his availability and to get it done. So he has a huge decision, and to figure out, like I said, what do you want? When you figure out what you want, how do you go about it to make it all work?
Well, at the end of the day, right now, the Mavs, they sit at 11th in the West. Their next opponent is the Miami Heat. Then they have the Hawks, the Kings, the Bulls, the Spurs. They have a runway here, but it's got to be done right now. Let's get to Kyrie's.
Hey, what's up, guys? Jag from Jaggy Sports here, and let's get right into this Kyrie situation. He got interviewed saying it was a bit of a cluster beep when playing with Dallas, or playing for Dallas. And it's not all his fault, right? And it's not all Luka's fault. Most of it is management. Like I said in the like a couple videos ago, this is not working. Management is to blame because they did not put the right pieces around these guys. They could have gave up some draft picks here and there to get the defensive prowess that they need. They did not do that. Therefore, every single game that happens, they got no defense. And when my buddy texted me when this trade went down, I basically said, he said, oh, Dallas will go to the finals. And I told him, I said, dude, listen, man, come on. You've been watching the NBA for quite some time, and everybody knows defense wins championships. You got to stop the ball, like on the offensive end, on their offensive end. If you can't do that, they're going to score, right? So what's going to happen? At the end of the day, you got to play defense. That is not what Dallas is doing. They have not been doing that, and they were not a good defensive team to begin with. Now, they're even a worse defensive team, right? So, Jason Kidd is losing it. You can't blame him because, you got no defense, and they are losing. They're outside looking in. I think they're in the 11th spot in the seedings, and I don't know. I don't think they are going to make the playoffs. And to top it off, when they do not make the playoffs, Kyrie Irving, in my opinion, is gone. Now, I know Bill Simmons said it yesterday, saying, Bill Simmons said Kyrie Irving is going to stick with Dallas, and LeBron James and Draymond Green is going to go to Dallas and join Luka and Kyrie. That is what Bill Simmons said. I don't agree with this at all, but that's just me. Bill Simmons said that, and yeah. Okay, so at the end of the day, like I said before, Dallas, in my opinion, does not make the playoffs, and when they do not make the playoffs, Kyrie walks. So Dallas lost 2 key players in this deal, and now you lost Kyrie Irving. I get it. You gained about $30 million in cap space, but you literally have no one else, right? You have no one else except for Luka. And yeah, trouble in Dallas. Leave a comment in the comment section. Tell me what you guys think. Is Dallas going to make the playoffs? And if they do not make the playoffs, does Kyrie Irving leave Dallas? This is Jag from Jag Esports.